War of 1812 has to be looked upon as a continuation of the American Revolution. The War of 1812 is born of a challenge to the young United States even having reason to exist, let alone permission to exist in the eyes of Great Britain or in the eyes of Europe and Great Britain.
Jacob came upon the Frolic the 17th of October, 1812. He waited it out the night prior, came in close, and found there were 6 merchant ships. The Frolic ran up Spanish colors. This was done all the time to try to deceive other vessels. This engagement, in my mind, is what really helped solidify his legacy as a hero and a successful naval commander. So this was a great success for Jacob and really spoke to his seamanship as well as his leadership. She was outgunned, outmanned, and didn't even put all of her sailors to work. She just beat the Frolic in pure seamanship. I mean, seamanship and leadership. She defeated Britain's finest.
His father was Jacob Jones, who lived in the peninsula of Maryland and came north into Delaware to marry a woman by the name of Priscilla Jones. And they got married in 1767. And within a year, they had a son named Jacob Jones. His mother died in 1770, probably of yellow fever, which was rife in Kent County, which was where Duck Creek Hundred was. And that's where they lived, Duck Creek Hundred, which is today Smyrna, Delaware. His father very quickly, and I suspect knowing that he had or would contract yellow fever, quickly married a woman by the name of Penelope Holt Coward. She was the granddaughter of Rives Holt. Jacob and Penelope lived on the farm for about 4 years, from the time Jacob was 2 years old when his mother died, a little beyond 2, till he was 6 years old and ready to go to school. At that time, she took Jacob to Lewes to live with her grandmother, the wife of Rives Holt. Obviously, the school in Lewes was a good grammar school. Ultimately, a number of the boys who went there made something of themselves.
There really was an internationalism here. You had Swedes, you had the Dutch, English, the colonists, but then you also, as a port city, you must have had introduction to the Caribbean, to other European nations.
Jacob Jones joins the U.S. Navy at 31 years old as a midshipman. He could have probably got a position as a surgeon, as an acting surgeon, in more of a civilian capacity, but he chose to come in as a midshipman. I mean, you had boys as young as 10 up through 16 was your common age for midshipmen. This was a stepping stone to becoming an officer. It's schoolboys. And Jacob really was able to swallow his pride, swallow his familial ties, his experience and 31 years of life to come in as a midshipman.
Here's what the people in Dover thought of him. He is genteel, obliging, good-tempered, and I have heard a man of undoubted spirit. In Dover, he was generally popular, partly, no doubt, because he was an athletic man, skilled in outdoor games and a daring rider after the hounds. This was Murray, in which he was on the blockading squadron with. A good officer, but unaccommodating. Unaccommodating means he didn't back down. When the captain used abusive language to him, he used it right back. William Bainbridge said, "Lieutenant, a brave, good officer and a correct man."
We got our independence from the United Kingdom, but that also meant that the protection that the Royal Navy was giving our merchant navy in the Mediterranean against the Dey of Algiers and others, well, guess what, guys? You're on your own now.
So Jacob's experience during the Barbary Wars, he served as a second lieutenant on the USS Philadelphia. She was to defend this sovereignty and our early nationhood, really, and demand respect and demand that the seamen be respected. She arrived, she went to Gibraltar, then made her way into Tripoli, and unfortunately 2 miles outside of the harbor, she ran aground, which is an utter embarrassment for any captain. This was a reef that wasn't on any charts. Jacob would have experienced 19 months of imprisonment by the Barbary States. Thankfully, he was a second lieutenant. His existence, he did not suffer as many of his sailors did on the lower deck.
We paid the money and got him out. Preble's ships took him back to Sicily, and all the officers came back on the President. Some of the sailors probably stayed with the Navy right there to man the ships that were already there.
I think that all that was really accomplished with the War of 1812 was that America became America. It was no longer a gathering of former colonies with similar complaints. We became a nation. It was a nation builder.